Okay, guys, I just got to share this with you here. This is my 5th year with this Antec ONE press. And, I have one problem with this press that I really am upset about. And it's very, very frustrating. This sticker on the top of the press is starting to bubble up from the heat. Gumby's not pleased at all. Um, Obviously, I'm being facetious here, but that's the only problem I've had with this press in 5 years. These springs, you see the springs all around this press, there's two per print head. I haven't had to replace one of these springs. This thing is awesome. I mean, it's not tool-free adjustment. You do have a couple of uh, spots where you have to actually like use a wrench. So you're going to need a wrench to adjust the off contact right here. There's right down in there. You're going to need a 9/16" wrench, one on each side. Other than that, you're good. And it's real simple stuff. I mean, these are all parts that can be easily replaced, and they're not super proprietary. Some of these things you could probably get at a local hardware store, but I would suggest asking Antec first. But I mean, this thing has been rock solid. I've printed thousands. I mean, many, probably 30, 40,000, more than that, shirts on this press. And I've got what 2 or 3 jobs up here right now, and I got parts of 2 different jobs, or 3 different jobs up here right now. And this press just keeps going and going and going. And I don't understand. That's the thing about this press. If you buy one of these, you're not going to have to replace stuff. I mean, you got these sealed bearings here. They're smooth. You can't even hear them. They're smooth as silk. Everything is just so solid. And yeah, sure. It's not. There's other presses that have off contact that's toolless, and other things that are toolless. The only thing you need the tool on, you need a 9/16 for the spot I showed you before when you're setting up your off contact, which is super easy. And you've got 2 knobs here to adjust left and right off contact. And then you've got one underneath here at the bottom there. Sorry. There's one there. That adjusts your off contact for the front of the screen. And for the back of the screen, you just set it up you use both of those to find a fine balance between the front of the screen and the back of the screen. These here, the small knobs there, this one, and this one, those are going to set up your off contact left to right, and then you can set it up the rest of the way with this one here. So this thing, there's an infinite ways of adjusting the off contact. So you can get it just perfect, pretty much, is what I'm trying to say. And these micros are amazing, man. It's like, I can't stress this enough. I looked at many other manual presses before I bought this, and I thought to myself, what don't I like? Okay, some of them I don't like gas springs because they can go bad. Well, now you have drooping print heads. Your screens are going to droop on you. That's sketchy. And it could be a safety thing too, man. And I had a Workhorse years ago, and the Workhorse, it was a great press, but it had 2 springs at least. It had spots for 4, just like this one has spots for 4 springs. But there's 2. I was replacing those springs every year, easily, sometimes a couple times a year. And they're expensive. They're hard to get. You can't find them at the local hardware store. And when I saw this thing, I thought, these guys are making a press that really doesn't need much maintenance. I mean, it's amazing that they're actually doing something like this, But this thing, I think it was $4,600, I think. I bought it new, and I felt like I got a bargain. This thing paid for itself, real quickly. Within a month, of course, it was paid off. And I love the thing. It's just I don't like that sticker how it bubbled up. But other than that, I haven't had to replace one spring. I haven't had to replace one nut, one bolt. It holds perfect registration, and it spins real easy. Little Gumby, he gets dizzy a lot of times. Gumby loves it. It's a little ride for him. And, you can adjust. So there's a tiny bit of, you could hear it. You could hear a tiny bit of friction when you're spinning those. But that's nothing. Look how they spin forever. So then you can adjust that. So if you want it to have a more solid indent, like so it clicks really good, there's an adjustment on the underneath the bottom of the press. And this steel table that it's mounted to, this bench, this thing weighs like over 500 pounds. Probably, I think it's about 550 pounds. And there's no flex anywhere. I mean, there's flex when you, just like there is in any press, when you push down hard enough. But I mean, this thing holds perfect registration. Off contact's always good. I've never had to stop and figure out what was wrong. And that's what I didn't like about previous presses. I've had Ranars, I've had Workhorse, and and other presses. And this thing here has been just, if you want a manual press, I don't think you're going to get much more for your money. I mean, the spring-loaded micros. So I mean, when you adjust these micros, they're just, I mean, and you got the bearing registration, but you adjust these micros, and you unlock them, and then you adjust them, and there's springs under there that are under tension. So there's no lash. There's no like play in those. When you tighten up or loosen up the registration or try to move it, it's always under some kind of tension. So it never just flops all at once, or the registration's so easy to dial in. But I bought this press with my own money, and I wasn't paid by Antec or anybody else. I talked to Mark a lot. He's a great guy. Mark over there at Antec will hook you up, and they can custom make stuff for you. A lot of times, if you want less stations or more stations, I opted for the 4 station 6 color because I had a press before that was a 6.6, and to me, maybe it was heavier or maybe it just the extra stations, but I felt like I was faster on a 4.6. So with 4 colors and 4 screens, 4 stations and 6 colors, I felt a lot more comfortable on that press. But I put these numbers on myself just to keep, so I didn't get too confused here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I put the numbers on the actual stations. A, B, C, D, the letters on the actual stations. But yeah, when I got this press, there's a couple of parts that were bent a little bit somehow, during shipping. And I talked to Mark over there, and he apologized profusely. And next day, probably within 2 days, I had brand new parts out, new bearings, and it was this thing right here that actually was bent. One of the ones I got had a bend, and one of them wasn't right, and I knew right away that it was wrong. So I talked to Mark, and he's, no problem, we'll send you out the new parts. And he sent me out extra stuff, more than I needed. And those guys take care of you over there at Antec. So, man, if you guys are looking for a good press, it's real easy to be wowed by all the gas springs and all this stuff, and all these other things. But if this press is made right here in the United States, so if you're in the U.S., it's not a bad idea to have something that's stateside, and you don't have to wait for things to be shipped over from another continent to get here. That's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes, But yeah, get something that's made in the USA, and get something that's solid. And you can get presses that are like the let's say like the junior edition or the cheaper edition, whatever. But other than the dual registration thing, this thing to me is as solid as an Antec Legend, which is they call it a legend for a reason. That's a legendary press. But this thing feels to me like I don't feel like I'm missing a whole lot. I'm sure the Legend is probably a better press overall, but this thing has done whatever I need it to do and then some, and I haven't had to replace one part in 5 years. So to me, that's a big plus right there. And even, Gumby agrees, So if you guys are looking for a press, and like I said, I have no stake in this company, and I don't, I'm not getting anything free from them. These guys make all these things, handmade, basically one at a time at their factory in Missouri, I believe. And they're good people, and they're honest Americans. They take care of their people. So, and you have aftercare. Look, they call me and ask me, hey man, how's everything going with your press? You doing all right? And who does that these days? This is freaking 2025. Nobody gives a shit about anybody anymore. People don't call anybody. People don't, they don't care. Once the sale's done, unless they want to sell you something, you don't hear from them again. Well, Mark's not like that. He'll contact you and say, hey, how's your business doing? How's everything going, But I'd highly recommend one of these presses, man. You can't go wrong for the price. It's an awesome press at any price, really. But if you're viewing comparable presses that are made out of all steel, or they're kind of heavier, and and they can rust a lot easier if you have any humidity in your shop or anything. And it's like this thing's got it's got a lot of steel too, but it's got some aluminum components. Like all the print heads are aluminum, But it's quality. When I first got it, I was a little skeptical because it wasn't fully toolless operation. But then when I saw how easy things were, and after a few years of using it and realizing how sturdy it is, I thought, hey, I have no problems. It takes me an extra 10 seconds to grab a tool and adjust the off contact, and it's so easy to do. Once you start, using that tool, it takes you another 10 seconds, you're done. It's easy. But all right, guys. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys watching. If you like what you see, subscribe. And I get busy, but I'm going to try to get more videos out, and hopefully hopefully I can do some more stuff soon, and I can help some people out there, because it's hard, man. There's been times when I've worked a regular job, and I got home and I'd be working till 1, 2 in the morning screen printing, and I had a single station press. It was actually, a single station press, and the board was constantly getting warped because my flash was I didn't have a conveyor to flash it with, or to cure my shirts with. And and you could hear this where it's constantly turning that flash dryer over that. My neighbors are like, what the hell's that sound? I keep hearing that squeaking noise every night. I'm just printing, sorry. And then finally I got a multi-station press, and that was a big game changer. And this press here, I have no regrets at all. I really don't. But just, if you guys are considering something like this, Antec's been around a long, long time, and this Antec ONE press, it's a good looking press too. I mean, mine's a little dusty right now. I blew it off the other day with a blower. A leaf blower. I go in here and blow all my stuff out and sweep it all out, all the lint and everything. But I need to wipe it all down and kind of polish it up a little bit. It's a good looking press. It's nice, beautiful red, and it's a great press. And I mean, but the important thing is it works, and you don't have to do anything to it. It's dependable. It's like an old Ford truck, or whatever, old Toyota truck, let's say, right? But yeah, it's great. So all right, thanks for watching, you guys, and like I said, I hope to help someone. All right, bye now.